Hello and welcome to Match Fishing TV, another fish pack show for you tonight despite the cold weather, and to discuss the latest results I'm joined in the studio by Matt Godfrey.
Evening.
And Jake Fowles.
Evening.
No Tom. Tom's out on the feature. We send him out when it's really cold. Serves him right. So lads, Lindome Natural Baits League.
Yep, so really sort of populated event. You've been involved in this.
Yeah, 49 there at weekend.
49, yeah. So
good turnout, that, isn't it?
very good turnout. So it has
I was
been
surprised
every
it wasn't frozen, because an awful lot of places were, or was it? Was it a proper ice breaking job?
No, you said that, Rog. It wasn't, not froze at all, none of the lakes. It wasn't that cold, as daft as it sounds, up there.
Even northerners, you northerners, you're used to it.
Well,
It's been a lot colder down south,
Yeah,
hasn't it? I was
massively.
out on Wednesday and the lakes were frozen. We couldn't even shoot the feature properly on Wednesday when I was down there, but seems like up north it's not been quite as bad. They've sort of stayed sort of ice free at the moment. But this particular match fished well. Lee Carey won it with £42 from Bonsai, so really good weight there. James Dent second, and then Joe Golding in third. So they were £35 and £34, so pretty close there as well. In terms of the league and how that's standing, Craig Butterfield's still up there at the top.
Yeah.
So he's been doing really well. He's won his section, is it once, and then second a couple of times?
Yeah, I think he's had a win and 3 seconds now. We've got Obnobs today as well.
Obnobs for dunking.
Yeah, I thought I'd have a little dunk while you're doing...
It's a proper biscuit, that.
Yeah, Craig's winning the league by quite a long way now.
Yeah, so he's doing well, but then close behind him you've got Sean Cameron, Matty Pillay, who early on was up there with Craig, wasn't he? I think he started the league with a match win.
Yeah.
Then second round he wasn't far off. But he's up there, and so's Tom as well. So Tom's doing well in that, catching a few big perch.
He's had some fantastic draws. You know, while he's not here, I'll just mention how unbelievably well he's been drawing. We'll leave it at that.
He's probably not on a feature today, you know.
Yeah.
He's probably gone out to try and work out what went wrong at the weekend.
That's it. That'll be it. But
no, well done, Lee. That's a decent weight this time.
it wasn't just big fish either. He caught some skimmers on ground bait and maggots, probably 20 pound of skimmers, and then he's had 6 big F1s late on when he's chased them out to 16 metres on a pole. Yeah.
That seems to be a bit like the way, isn't it, really? They seem to be catching a few. You've been doing something similar, haven't you? Fishing for skimmers, ground bait and maggots, or ground bait and pinkies, and then late on sort of catching them F1s late in the day, haven't you? That seems to be the way.
Things, aren't they, them big F1s?
Yeah, they okay, let's move on to a bit of natural fishing. One of my old lookers, Rob Hewison, came out on top in the March Open on the Old Neem.
Yeah, big turnout still year and year for these, isn't it? I know that you have to blooming chop someone's arm off
It's even
to
worse
get a
now,
ticket,
because they've got a
don't
Winter
you?
League final coming up on it.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to
yeah.
get on. Even the people that weren't just going there because it was fish soup, now want to go there because they're practicing for the Winter League final. So.
And it's good fishing. Look, Robert Weekend, he won the match with £18 free from peg 28 under the town clock, and I saw a picture on his Facebook that were frozen. There's a picture of him chucking a big icebreaker in just there. I don't know exactly what he caught on, but I'm assuming it'll be bread.
Knowing Rob, it'll be punch. And they were mostly small fish. I mean, I know that Rob didn't fancy his draw when he drew
No, interesting.
and he started off and he was catching very, very small fish and thought, I'm not going to go anywhere with these, but he just kept his head down, kept going at it, and he's really good on small fish, Rob. You know, they don't need to be dumpy stamp fish.
No.
He's just an automaton. He's just a fish catching machine when they're there.
Yeah.
He just kept his head down and it was enough.
We've got a picture of his fish, like you said, they're not big at all. He must have had 300 fish plus.
That's the old squat fishing days or something for him.
Second place were Rob Wright. He had £16.8, and he were right up near the bypass bridge.
Yeah.
I think he were one of the only ones in the frame who were well out of town.
Yeah.
But Rob does brilliant on there. And you talk about small fish, he fishes with these really positive rigs with a bulk really close to hook. That's really interesting. Dave Cooper was third, weights dropping a little bit now to £12.9. He were pegged 20 next to Wigston's Bridge.
Yeah.
Pete Wills was fourth with 12.8.
My old vice captain. Pete's still catching a few, vice captain of Central.
There you go. It's like a reunion for you when we read these.
Yeah, it really is. To be honest, I ought to be going on them just for the crack.
Yeah. Definitely.
Even though I won't catch anything.
You would.
Just go and meet up with all the lads here at the team meeting.
And Polly snuck in at fifth with £10.8. So good match to say it were frozen. Lots of small fish caught, and looking good for the Winter League final on there.
It's got to be cold when it even freezes right in the town centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Rob posted on Facebook very early on Sunday morning and said it was still -4 when he was getting out of the car.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, no, good result. Good match. Well done, Rob. Okay, the Guru Makings Pole Only League.
Yeah, so again, this is ran by Wayne Sharman, and he's actually came out on top in this match. He's fished pellets, 13 metres. He's had 2 carp and some skimmers for £21 10 ounce. That also does sort of keep him at the top of the league as well. So after 3 rounds, he's on 3 points. So you're sort of thinking there, well, he's won his section each round, so he's doing well. Second place, Dave Ashdown, £11.8. Shane Desmond, £11 in third. And Mark Hancock with £9, he's in fourth. In terms of the league, as I said, Wayne Sharman's winning that league with the 3 points. Lee Farmer, 4. And then you've got Chris Horsley and Shane Desmond on 6 points. So one bad result and you could slip down in that league.
I've got to go back to talking about this cold weather because Wayne's had a couple of carp and some skimmers on the long pole. At the moment, if you're not fishing for that many bites, the match that Rob's had, you're busy all match. You're not going to notice the fact your fingers have dropped off.
Yeah.
But to be fishing for a handful of bites in 5 hours, it is, that is a good performance from Wayne.
Yeah, big time.
And when you get those 2 carp in the net, you're pretty made up with that, aren't you?
Absolutely,
you're not going to need many of them.
Sit in the car. We'll sit in the car for the second half of the match.
Just turn the heaters on, that's the way forward, isn't
Bit
it?
airy playing them through the ice, innit, on a pole and like elastic though.
Yeah, through a channel that you've made this wide.
Yeah. Bolt it under the water and that's freezing up. Well done, Wayne. Okay, Sherwood Farm Park, Silverfish League, round 4.
This were a nice one. Mick, the owner, sent the results in, so I thought we'd get him in there for him. It's a place I used to fish actually, Sherwood, really popular. Set in Sherwood Forest, like really nice venue, and it's been fishing really well for silverfish. Cold obviously affected it a little bit this week, but the Silverfish League was on Sherwood Lake, and Michael Elliott won the match with 22-12. Nice net of fish. He caught mainly skimmers, fished ground bait, maggots towards some old weed beds on Sherwood Lake. There's all lilies in the middle.
Yeah, they die away at this time of year, and you still got the stalks to fish.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of fish gather around them, so he's probably fished towards them. Mark Barrow was second with 15.9, still a decent weight of silverfish. Alan Higginworth was third with £13. Colin Perry, blast from the past, that is the Colin Perry as well. He was fourth with 9.15, and Rich Bonson was fifth with 8.14. So nice little silverfish matches. I think they let anyone fish them as well, so if you fancy going and having a crack, Sherwood Forest Farm Park.
You don't need to be part of the league. You can
Fisherman's
just
Opens,
fish in it, individual match. Okay, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back to you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. Okay, before we get on to talking about any more results, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's obviously social media's been alive with the fact that Mad Godfrey is leaving us for a proper job.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it, mate. You're off to Guru.
I certainly am, Rog. I'm off to work for Guru at the start of Feb. I think my first day there's 6th of Feb.
You're going to be their token northerner, aren't you?
I'm going to be their ginger, aren't I? They've got a little thing for gingers as well, you know. They've got a couple in Holland and stuff like that.
I've seen the colour scheme. I think
yeah. That'll be it.
Is that how they tempted you with the hat?
They must have done.
An orange hat?
Definitely, definitely. But I'm going to be their marketing and media coordinator. Really excited, looking forward to getting out with some of their anglers. They've got some awesome sponsored guys, obviously Ringer, Paul Holland, Andy Bennett, and lots more. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But I've got a lot of people to thank for what I've had here at DHP, yourself and Sean and everyone. No, it's been brilliant. I've been really, really lucky. Proper loved every second of working with pole fishing and match fishing. And I think they're both in brilliant positions. And you're going to smash it up and keep going.
That's it, isn't it? You've trained me up relatively well, I think.
Yeah, I
so
hope so.
hopefully,
So our loss is Guru's game, but you're still going to be holding the talent pathway.
Yep, still be doing that. Fangling
Tell us a
Trust.
little bit about that, because I saw you were out this weekend doing that.
Yeah,
a
we
bit of
were.
ice skating, wasn't it?
Oh, just a bit. We're at Makins actually.
Because the regional ones, you were in the, is it the Midlands
I do
one?
the Midlands one, yeah. I have to pretend to be a Midlandser for one session every year. And we went to Makins. It were frozen. There were one little bit of the lake that were clear. So I set my gear up on that bit, put a bit of bait in, and we did a classroom session in the morning. They all raided my rig box, raided me up box. I've probably got no upland, so no rigs left now. But it were really well. We had about 12 cups of tea. And then about dinner time, we went back out onto the lake, and some other pegs had melted. So a few lads went and had a fish themselves, and the rest of us had a go on my box.
The classroom kind of slowly worked its way out to the water.
I had about 3 drops in and caught 3 skimmers, and then one of them kicked me off and they were on. But it were really good. We caught loads of fish. It was brilliant. Probably 30 pound of silvers between them, just swapping around on my tackle.
You're playing a game of killer, weren't you?
Yeah, the killer was great. I saw that
I
on
thought that was a
Facebook.
great idea.
Miss a bite and you're out.
That were it. And sometimes they'd ship all the way out to 16 metres, lay the rig in, feed a bit of bait, it'd take ages to settle, and they'd miss the first bite and they'd got to ship it all the way back.
Ultimate humiliation when they miss
Yeah.
I think I'd have done a lot of sitting on the bank. Right, okay, well, he's still around for a week or two, but let's get back to some match results. Tunnel Barn Farm, Winter League.
Good match, as always, at Tunnel. Matty Barnwell won with 62-8 off Jenny's 18. Caught a lot of his fish dobbing to start with, and then a few on maggots a little bit later. Second, no stranger to the frame, Jamie Hughes, 62-2.
Close game.
Yeah, just 6 ounces there. He were on house peg 6, which is a known area for catching fish dobbing. So you get him on a peg like that, and it's game over, really. He caught everything on bread. I think I spoke to Joe Carras this morning. And I think he fished in Jamie's team at weekend, and Jamie were on the phone to him in the first half an hour at match, and Jamie had 6 fish in the first 10 minutes or something like that, or he had 6 in a 10-minute spell. So he'd obviously found out where they were sitting. Yeah, brilliant. And another man who's really consistent at Tunnel, Mark Taylor, was third with £45. He were on high pool, peg 27. So 3 different ponds in the frame there. Teams on the day, Ridgemere Elite won with 72 points. A lot fewer points than normal as well, I noticed this week. It's normally 90s and
what
80s.
I did notice is that the top 3 teams on the day are not featuring in the overall standings. There's been a bit of a shake-up on this, hasn't there?
Interesting one. And I think they pay a few out in the league overall, so the bottom ender it might be shook up a bit. But Ridgemere Elite won with 72. Maver Gold Dynamite U was second with 71. And Dynamite Maver Midlands Bagham were third with 68, which leaves the league standing with Map Bait Tech winning with 635.
635.
Guru not far behind, 606 in second place. Shakespeare third with 559 points. And Joe Caras's team, the Match Fishing Drawbags, in fourth with 546.
It's, as I say, that was a real shake-up for the top end of the league. None of the leading teams featured. So.
Yeah. And what's good about that league, though, as well, is the fact that the points on every given week are quite high. So you've got, like, some weeks it is 90s, then it's 80s, 70s. Yeah. Even though there's, 29 points there between first and second, that could quite easily be made up in 1 week.
Yeah, you could have a swing.
So I think there's a
30-point swing, I think they call it in political terms.
Yeah, so that could quite easily happen. So even though it looks like big gaps in terms of the numbers, you're playing for a lot of points every round. So it can be made up quite quickly, which is good.
So well done, Ridgemere Elite, taking the spoils there. Okay, Partridge Lakes Individual League. Decent turnout for this one.
Yeah, there always is at Partridge. So 79 anglers. And not to mention as well that they actually run an open match on the same day, and that open match will get 50 anglers as well as the individual Winter League. It's ridiculous. It's a brilliant venue. I was actually at this and competing in the individual league. Brian Jones has won it from peg 156 on Covey 6 with £95. He's not needed to pick up any rig other than his dobbing rig. In that area, they do it holds a few fish, and he's dobbed all day. So not fed a bean, just dobbed some bread, about £95, and that's a big ball of fish to have £95.
Biggest weight of the week, probably on a commercial this weekend. That's a
good result. That is.
Then in second place, Gareth Gibbons, and with £46 won, and then young guru Rob Swan was in third with £43.12. John Berry fourth, £38 won. They were all on Marsh. I was actually opposite Gareth Gibbons, and it was the same there. They've all sort of mentioned before the match how they're putting the plummets in and feeling fish. He's gone in straight away, and he was almost bang opposite me. I've gone in with my bread rig, nothing. He's gone in and it's just gone away straight away. He's had 10 fish.
Heavier, you obviously use heavier bread.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's it. There was a few fish there, but they were all on marsh. And then in 5th, Steve Parry, 6th, Stuart Mill. They both came from Spey. So yeah, really good weights at Partridge this week. A lot of them fall into Dobbin. But yeah, really good venue and a brilliant league as well.
Okay. Now, Commercial House League, which is not on a commercial fishery, which always confuses everybody on this show. It's the final round on the Kennet and Avon Canal.
Certainly was, another well-attended match. Tricky fishing, though, by the looks of things. Paul Isaacs won the match. He was on the wires at Bathampton. He had £7, 6 ounce. Proper mixed bag, though. A couple of skimmers on bread straight away. Got on his Bloodworm and Joker line, short and long. Caught a few small fish. Roach and Rough, little Tommy Rough. And then in the last 10 minutes, he had £2 plus perch, also on his Bloodworm rig. So I bet they gave him a bit of a merry dance.
And they help.
Yeah.
No.
And he finished with £7, 6 ounce and won the match. K Bolts was second, just 2 ounces less than him. He had 7.4. And N Hawk third with £6, 5 ounce. But it was the last match of the league, like we say. They've got 2 divisions, an A division and a B division. The winners of the A division on the day was Preston Innovations Thatcher's B team with 25 points. And the winners of the B division on the day was Stand and Deliver Promotions with 15 points.
That's a catchy team, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? That's like a blooming business name that you'd have in a business class at school, isn't it?
I suspect that probably is what it is.
But the league overall ended in the A division. Preston Innovations Thatcher's B won with 23.5 points, quite a clear lead on second place. Mozilla Bathampton, who had 18, and Mozilla Bathampton B, who had 18, and then Mozilla Bathampton A team with 17.5.
So the B teams there all came out on top.
Yeah. That's it.
Probably gave the A teams a bit of
ribbing
stick,
gone on there.
I wonder if they've switched it round and made the better team the B team, B for better. Could be, couldn't it? Could probably not.
That's what they're going to be claiming.
Well, they are, right? They are better because they've beat the other team, so they've got the bragging rights.
And the B division,
DW Builders won that one with 17 points. Census Nomad second with 15, and Maver third with 14.5.
Good result. Good bit of canal, that is.
Yeah, tricky fishing I bet at times, but
proper fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, the Preston Innovations pole fishing pairs.
So this was the 9th qualifier out of 10, and we've just got one more, which is at Tunnel Barn this weekend coming, I believe. On Saturday. So this was the 9th qualifier. With this, Ben Roberts came out on top. So he had £34, and that actually put him and his partner Darren Frost on top as well as a pair. So they were the first qualifiers. Cagsy Parry finished second, £28.8, and him and his dad were actually the pair. So it's always nice, brilliant lads. His dad's really nice.
Him and Richie, they're brilliant together.
Yeah, brilliant. But they actually finished third overall as a pair, so they also qualified. And Kieran Marsden finished third overall, and him and his partner, Andy Kane, qualified as well.
Worth pointing out as well that Frosty, who was paired up with Ben Roberts, he didn't blank. I mean, Frosty held the end up with about £12 or so.
£11
It wasn't carried through.
No, exactly.
Ben almost carried him through, but Frosty did chip in.
I tell you what, it looked a nightmare. There were all this like moist, slushy ice on top of some pegs.
It was really...
Do you know what they call that in Scotland when you're salmon fishing? Grew. Yeah, I don't know why they call it grew, but when you're salmon fishing really early in the season, so February time on the D, and it's really cold up in the mountains, and you get a bit of meltwater come down, and it's just like that, being hit by frozen porridge in the side of your legs.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, don't like grew.
But with that, so a lot of the venue was frozen, so they have had to split it around a few different lakes so that basically they could get enough anglers on. So there was I think there was only 4 of them on Weir, then some on Stretton, some on Canal, and they've sort of moved it about a bit so that they could get the go ahead with the match. Because one of the rules at Western is that you can't break the ice. But they managed to do it. It's fished well, considering that they have all sort of fished in little holes on available pegs, basically.
Amazing.
Fished well, so they're all through to the final. With just one round to go, and the final will be on the 4th of March, and that's at Woodlands View. So that'll be something to look forward to as well.
Okay. Well, that's the good news out of the way. Now the bad news. Now you lads are too young probably to have ever met him, but obviously we got the sad news last week that Dick Derrington had passed away. Dick, for those that never met him like you guys, he founded the Evesham Festival. And it was one of those matches that it's grown and grown and grown. It's one of the most important in the calendar
Brilliant.
now. He happened to be in a pub. He ran a pub fishing team, and he was in the pub when a new rep came in from, I think it was Courage Brewery, and he was launching a beer called Colt 45.
Right.
It was horrible, the beer. It really was awful, gassy, American-style crap. But they decided that a good way of getting this brand out and about was a Colt 45 Classic fishing match at Evesham. What started as a one-day, just put this brand in the framework, Colt put some money in. That grew the following year to a 2-day event, and we now get the 3-day festival that everybody wants to be involved in.
Which is awesome, isn't it? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And none of that would have happened without Dick. He eventually got full sponsorship from John Smith's and ran it as the John Smith's Festival for a number of years.
Yeah.
Real character. He was incredibly abrasive. If you didn't do it his way, you didn't do it at all. If you didn't do it his way, you weren't invited ever again.
That's probably why it worked, though, Rod.
If you didn't weigh in, if you caught a fish and didn't weigh in, you wouldn't be invited back.
Wow.
Dick's view, I mean, I run it now, and I helped Dick run it when he was still doing it. Alzheimer's got him a number of years ago, and he's not been involved in it. But Dick's view was, as I agree with him, the most important element of the Evesham Festival was the spectators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dick's view was that if the scales are going to walk down the bank, those spectators have spent all day coming to see these stars, and you've got sponsors, and when you're there in August this year, you'll be sponsored by Guru. Guru get value for money by you being on the bank, by these spectators coming and seeing you. If you caught one fish and tipped it back and packed up, Dick wouldn't invite you back.
Wow.
Dick's view was the spectators have been there all day. Even if you haven't caught anything, you have to be there to admit you didn't catch anything, to show them that everybody's human.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that watch at Evesham would give their right arm after they'd fished it to be on that bank.
Yeah.
So, no, really, really sad loss. Our wishes go out to Carol, his wife, and Joanne, his daughter, and the rest of the immediate family. So, sad loss for angling. And on that sad note, we'll leave you tonight. Thanks for watching.